Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie, I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. As usual, you guys have chapters down below to skip to any specific part that you might be most interested in, and with that being said, let's get right into it. So, first thing we're obviously going to talk about is Connect, and we did actually manage to live stream the event. Let me know your predictions in the chat here. I'm actually going to move the chat around in a little bit, so that replay is available for you guys with chapters down below in case you do feel like watching the entire thing. However, if you don't feel like watching the entire thing, it was quite long, here is a little bit of a recap. Unfortunately, in this year's Connect, just like we expected, there really wasn't much talk about virtual reality. However, we did also get some information later on, next day, which we didn't live stream. Let's begin with the first day of the event, where Meta announced, of course, brand new Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses, as well as brand new Oakley sunglasses that they were pushing quite hard during that live stream. And those did get some nice updates, as well as every single pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses, including the ones that I have, supposedly getting something called conversational focus, allowing you to, in a busy environment, tell Meta to turn on conversation focus and essentially have the voice of the person that you're actually talking to be pushed into your ears and drowning out all the audio around that. So pretty cool in case you do spend a lot of time in noisy environments talking to people. I can see this coming in quite handy. If it does work in countries where Meta AI is unsupported, I'll probably throw that one into the review. The Gen 2 Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses got a pretty nice update. So just like the Oakley Meta HSTN, this one can now record 3K video and has up to 8 hours of battery life in typical use. That compares to the 1080p and 4 hours of the first generation Meta Ray-Ban sunglasses. The three modes you can choose from are 1200p at 60 fps, 1440p at 30 fps, or 3K at 30 fps. That's a pretty nice boost in both battery life and resolution for those that are using those glasses. For all three modes, the glasses can record for up to 3 minutes, so that limitation is unfortunately still there. Other than that, they function in the exact same way as the original. They're screenless smart glasses with a camera, microphones, and speakers. You can use them to capture photos and videos, listen to music, podcasts, audiobooks, and make and receive calls, as well as share your first-person view on WhatsApp and Messenger video calls. Translate speech, scan QR codes, you get the drift. Not much has actually changed in the operation of these glasses. Then the new Meta Oakley sunglasses got a camera in the middle. They're more sports-like, and that's exactly what they're advertising them towards. It has a wider FOV and a centered camera, as well as IP67 water resistance. The glasses, which leverage Oakley's iconic Sphera design, were rumored for months, and their design leaked on Monday. While we had expected them to be called Oakley Meta Sphera, their actual name is Oakley Meta Vanguard. Compared to the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 and Oakley Meta HSTN glasses, Oakley Meta Vanguard has a wider FOV, centered camera, as well as IP67 water resistance, and slightly longer battery life. The centered camera should make for better first-person footage, and it has a field of view of 122 degrees, compared to the 100 degrees of other Meta smart glasses. You can trade off some of this field of view for improved stabilization with electronic image stabilization options of low, medium, and high. They can also record at 3K with 30 fps, 1080p at 60, 1080p at 30, and slow motion at 720p and 120 fps. Now, something interesting here, that 60 fps at 1080p is locked to 3 minutes. However, that 1080p at 30 fps can apparently record for up to 5 minutes now. So that's a nice boost. The speakers also got an upgrade and are also 6 decibels louder than its other smart glasses, making them more suitable for hearing audio while the wind is rushing past your face. Ideal for skiing, cycling, and running, which they made that last part quite clear. So yeah, pretty nice update there as well, but fairly sure that's not what most of you are here for. I bet most of you are here for the display glasses. As yes, during Meta Connect, Meta did also announce their brand new display glasses, and these are actual AR glasses. They're not 6DoF though, which means that the display is going to stay permanently fixed in your field of view, as well as the fact that that display is only available on your right eye, which is very unfortunate for people like myself that can't really see on that eye. meaning I won't be able to review these for you guys, unfortunately. There are, however, a lot of good news about this. First of all, it's super bright, featuring up to 5,000 nits, so you shouldn't have any issues seeing it in broad daylight, as long as you don't look directly at the sun. The resolution isn't super high, it features a resolution of 600 by 600, but considering the fact that the display is actually rather small, this probably isn't too big of an issue. The field of view is tiny, at around 20 degrees, and that provides 42 pixels per degree, which is higher than the Apple Vision Pro. Meta says the display is just 2% light leakage, meaning other people nearby essentially won't be able to see it, also confirmed by multiple reviewers. And the price tag, I hear you screaming in case you haven't watched the event yet, $800. So this is actually a fairly reasonable price for technology that is just emerging. But we have to believe them on the claim that these can do a lot because the actual live demos were kind of a failure.
Sesame oil.
What do I do first? What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients, so now grate a pear to add to the sauce.
What do I do first?
You've already combined the base ingredients, so now grate the pear and gently combine.
That is a live demo moment right
I think
there.
the Wi-Fi might be messed up. Sorry, back to you, Mark.
Now, I'm not going to really scream at them for this. Live demos have been known to be a failure from many different companies. This isn't anything new.
Maybe Buzz can try calling me again. This is, it happens.
I just find it really funny that they put it down to Wi-Fi, and then they went and they live streamed Mark's run with Diplo from like 26 different camera angles around the campus with absolutely no issues whatsoever. So I find that quite hilarious. However, then they went and said that they effectively DDoSed themselves by saying, "Hey Meta," which activated apparently everyone's glasses at the venue at the exact same time, and that caused the DDoS. I mean, plausible. I have activated people's Echo Dots before by saying the wake word. Another option is it just didn't work, and hopefully they fix that before shipping. You can do all the regular stuff with these. So Meta AI with visuals, which can now answer your questions and show step-by-step how-tos rather than just reading something back to you. You can message and video call. You can preview the shots that you're about to take, as well as now zoom in with the neural band. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. You can have pedestrian navigation, so while walking around, the arrow will actually point in the direction that your glasses are pointing. Pretty cool feature. However, they are using their own proprietary meta maps instead of using something like Google, apparently. So unless they're tapping into Google's API, not entirely sure how well that's going to work. Live captions and translation will obviously now show directly in front of your face, so very handy. And music playback can now also show you exactly what you're listening to with a nice little album cover in that display. The glasses weigh 69 grams, nice. They're also noticeably bulkier, with thicker frames and temples, but this is a trade-off for adding a display. And I have to say, I think this is a pretty decent trade-off. I don't think they're too thick for what they actually are, and I think that this is actually something people might want to wear in public and not feel, I don't know, stared at too hard. Like, I could probably walk past this and not think twice. I don't know, let me know your opinions on that one down below. But yeah, the glasses do actually come with a really cool folding case as well. So that's something pretty cool that they added. If you have the original Ray-Bans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Another thing about prescriptions, these will come with prescriptions, like you can get them with prescriptions. I don't know whether this is something you can install your own prescriptions into. We will see. The prescriptions are going to be available from -4 to +4, and if you're outside that range, you're out of luck. Lovely. Meta says the glasses will also come to the UK, Canada, France, and Italy in early 2026. So actually, it's not going to be available in Poland probably ever. Anyway, the neural wristband though, this I believe with a bunch of other people in the comments as well, is the coolest part of the device. And just like myself, a lot of people would love this to be an accessory that you can buy apart from getting it with the glasses. And this is something Meta has refined throughout the years. I showed off the Myo armband, which was essentially the prototype that Meta built off of, multiple times during the live stream. This is the first generation of the armband. This wasn't even created by Meta. This is the Myo armband, a little bit history lesson for you. The company that made this, Thalmic Labs, that was bought out by Meta a while ago. I don't want to give exact dates because my memory is terrible. And they seem to have come a really far way. A far way enough to the point where you can apparently type discreetly with your finger by drawing letters using nothing but a neural band. Now that is really, really cool. As well as, of course, being able to, do double tap gestures and all the other stuff that we've gotten used to. From reviewers, the gestures are apparently nice and pretty natural to use, or at least you get used to them really quickly, and the band is light enough to the point where you almost forget it's there. For example, the volume control gesture is pretty cool. It just goes like this, and it would be really, really cool if we could get this as a separate accessory, because what if you break it or you lose it? It is waterproof apparently, so breaking it should be pretty difficult. Either way though, what if you lose it? So they should be selling these separately, and once the hacking and open source community get their hands on it, I believe we can get some pretty cool stuff done with that armband and, say, a mobile phone. Imagine you could connect that armband to standard Meta glasses and do the same kind of touch typing, just not be able to see the message, and maybe have the AI assistant read out the message to you before you send it. I don't know. I really want the open source hacking community to get their hands on this and see what they can get done. Now, really quickly, moving on to Hyperscape Generative AI. You guys can now use your Quest in order to scan the room around you, or any space around you for that matter, so that you can create really high resolution, really high quality hyperscapes and show them off to your friends.
So you can just use your Quest headset to scan a room in just a few minutes and turn it into an immersive, true-to-life world.
Or I don't know, hopefully in the future be able to export that model into something like VR chat, so that is really, really cool. Finally, hyperscapes are available for more people. They spoke a lot about 3D movies. We're not going to fit that into today's video, and judging by the comment section, not too many people were super interested in that anyway, which is unfortunate. I think it's pretty cool. They're going to have a lot of new partnerships for 3D movies, and they're expanding the Meta TV app. We spoke a little bit about this in the previous video, but yeah, they're doing a lot on media content. Meta Horizon Studio will now also be able to AI generate just about anything, in case you guys are a creator inside Meta Horizon Studio. So the upcoming rebrand of Horizon World's desktop editor is getting an upgraded AI assistant that can generate or change just about anything. The resolution of the textures here remains to be seen. As we know, 3D generative AI with textures and models has in the past been a little bit wonky, to say the least. For example, if you tell Creator Assistant to make a door that opens when a button is pressed, the agent will find a door and button in the asset library, place them in the world, set their properties, and write and attach TypeScript to make the button open a door. So you can not just generate, but you can actually use it to do just about anything. That's pretty cool. It's definitely going to help a lot of creators. However, I can also see people being against this, as it's essentially just having people not learn these functions anymore. It does appear to be mostly for Horizon though, actually entirely for Horizon. So for VR chat, you guys still need to use your brains. We also got a little bit of a tease for Horizon OS. Meta CTO Andrew Bosworth called it our spatial UI navigation and described it as a work in progress. So you can see here, going above me right now, a little bit of an update on how the navigator will look like in the future, making it look a bit more materialistic, if I can say so. Simplistic, almost. You guys can let me know what you think about that. And now one that I know so many of us have been waiting for the longest time, but Discord is officially coming to Quest early 2026. Yeah, we have to wait a little while longer, but finally, how long have we been waiting for this? How long have we been sideloading the Discord app to Quest? Now it will be integrated into the system, essentially making it so much easier to access the app and talk to your friends. You are no longer forced to use the Meta ecosystem to call people. That is really, really cool. Thank you, Meta. And finally, I just want to mention this because I think it's really funny, but there was a lot of copium for Valve to release the Steam Frame throughout Meta Connect. The Steam Frame announcement, actually, let's see whether Valve has done anything to one-up Meta. I was one of those people. I was seriously hoping they would do that because, as you can see, there really wasn't a lot of talk about virtual reality during this year's Connect, but unfortunately that didn't happen. We were coping just as hard during the live stream. We were checking out Reddit. We spoke about it a little bit, but I can see that now, sadly, it's Bradley has been posting on Twitter or X that quite a bit more of that copium was happening than I may have seen on the surface. It is unfortunate. Hopefully, though, in the near future, it will actually get released. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I know this one was focused a little bit more on Meta Connect, but I really wanted to get this recap out to you guys with a few of the things that maybe we didn't talk about during the live stream, like Discord, for example, or the update to Horizon. And very, very soon, I'm going to have a more regular news video for you. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please do give it a like. If you disliked it, I guess the button works too, but let me know why down below. If you're not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit Reddit down below where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. And thank you so much to all the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love. Thank you so much for your support. It means the world, and it is what makes all this possible. And as usual, if you want to be notified of content coming up on the channel, just smack that subscribe button with your doom about. See you in the next video. Peace.